Hello, comrades. Commissar Bro here today with a, fifth episode of our Bloody Great War playthrough. That's right. Not the bloodiest war, but a bloody great war. That's right. So, what's happened? Well, a lot. It's now December 10th, 1955. And the map looks a lot different. Looks a lot more yellow, for starters. So we have taken the UK, and we have taken Italy. Again, there is some border gore in between, but don't worry, those are actually our allies. Those are not anyone else. Even though that shows us Free France, that's not Free France. That, my friends, is actually Vichy France. If Vichy France is still alive, there's my old Vichy France. I can't even click on Vichy France right now, so whatever. That's Vichy France who controls that territory there. And over here, it is the new Italian, the fascist Italians who rule this territory. So, yeah, that's a thing. With that said, basically, the UK was taken in a very daring paratrooper drop, essentially. Hundreds of thousands of paratroopers were dropped in on all the major centers in the UK, catching the British government by surprise, taking the British government themselves hostage, and leaving no time for the British military to react to the operation. It was a complete success, and they were caught completely unawares. So it's pretty crazy. But that's not the only thing that's happened. As you can see here, Russia has finally been defeated by the combined efforts of Germany and Spain. Now, let's be honest, it was more me than it was Germany, but that didn't stop them from taking Moscow, the dirty bastards. But it is what it is. The Russians still have control of St. Petersburg and still have a majority of their territory. Now, I did take a lot of the resources from them, but I only did so to stop the Germans from having it. I didn't want the Germans to have all that power and all that territory. And this just recently happened, as you can tell. We're currently fighting to kick out the isolated forces that have not surrendered. Basically, the British forces that are still fighting on. So you're probably wondering what the casualties are looking like right about now. Well, as you could imagine, the casualties have spiked. But keep in mind, with Russia capitulating and the whole white movement being defeated, basically the Mongols and the Russians have been completely taken out of the war. Thus, their casualty figures have been taken out of the war as well. So, in total, the Axis powers have lost 23.66 million, and it shows the Allies as only having lost about 119 million. More realistically, that number was about 15 to 14 million higher. It was about 133 million or so. So basically, from now on, we're just going to add that number on, so we can help keep track of just how many casualties have been going around. So if we add if we say this is 119, we add 14 million to it, that's about, what, 143? No, 133. I'm retarded. Like 133, roughly. So 133 plus about 24 is, God, it's too early for math. 133 plus 20. It's what, 156 roughly. 157 is 157 million casualties we're looking at so far. So this war is on track to actually beating my bloodiest war playthrough, but I don't think it will. Now that we've kind of kicked in the teeth of the Allies, we've completely taken their European acquisitions, essentially. The only thing we don't have is we don't have Ireland, and we have not defeated Serbia yet. the Allied troops in Canada, or the U.S. troops in Canada and the other Commonwealth nations are currently holding strong in Eastern Europe here. So basically, that's kind of on our to-do list to take them out once we've cleared out the British from all these territories here. Because that's kind of the most important thing we need to do right now, is we need to take all this territory back and finally bring an end to their domination. Now, our fleet has also been growing throughout this whole time. We have an absolutely massive, powerful fleet now, which I kind of want to try out against the Allied forces, especially with the Russians completely taken out of the fight. That's going to be hundreds upon hundreds of ships that are no longer defending the Allied positions. And it actually looks like the Russians are helping us with their navy now too. So we should actually assist them where we can and send in our boats. Well, how are we doing here? Oh, it looks like we're fighting against an enemy battleship. 2 dreadnoughts. Bring it on, you Teds. Alright, but anyway. Let me pause that for a second. And yeah, so everything's going really well, actually, all things considered, and whatnot. We have finally really started to make massive headway against the Allied forces, and frankly, they had it coming. So now we just got to continue fighting like we've been fighting. I've got a bunch of new factories from the conquering of Russia and taking over these areas. Honestly, it almost doubled my area, increased it by about 33%. And plus all these new resources. The only thing I'm lacking is rubber, which sucks, but I mean is whatever in the long scheme of things. So basically, I'm just going to work towards increasing what we've been building. More battle cruisers, more heavy cruisers, and so on and so forth. Yeah, definitely heavy cruisers. We can get multiple out of those out a year. And we'll just build light cruisers. So basically, we're just building a well-rounded navy. And we're just going to keep doing that. That's right. Why not, man? You know, just kind of take it home. Have a really powerful Spanish navy. That's what we're gonna need if we're gonna finally defeat the Allies. Let's see. And see, we're doing some work. We're killing some ships here and there. So I'm happy about that. Oh wow, look at that. We took out a whole bunch of freaking ships. Submarines, of course. And we lost some convoys. But it's good to have the Russians on our side now. We finally actually have a fighting chance against the Allies' multitude of navies, which is something we haven't had in the past. We haven't had anything to fight the Allied naval forces, which I'm really happy we finally do now. So we can deal with this mess. And soon we'll actually have full control of the rest of these territories, and we can start pushing into the interior here to take that out. The Ottoman Empire was reestablished, but again, they're having the same problems they had before. The Allies are right there on their border, and they have no troops. So although they've been brought back into the fight per se, they still don't have any divisions. They have no men to fight. So we're basically going to have to react to that, and we're going to have to solve that particular issue ourselves. But we don't really have the manpower to do so at the moment. It might be better suited to us to focus on attacking this area, and then the Germans can actually start garrisoning certain areas in the north, so that might actually be what we do. But anyway, so this has been the 5th episode. I hope you're enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying playing it. We're almost done. I'm actually really excited to be done with this one because I've been playing it a lot for a week, and it almost seems like it's not going to end. It just seems like it's going to keep playing on and on until I'm finally done. So I just want it to be over so that I can go back to Djibouti. We can get back to that series. But honestly, I can't help but feel like this one's been a little bit more exciting, in my opinion. Like this massive war has proven to be an incredibly challenging affair that I didn't exactly expect myself to be a part of. So honestly, I'm really happy that I've been playing this one, because this is such a treat. Like, I don't really get really fun wars like this all the time. It does seem like all my wars tend to be really heavy casualties, and, you know, tens of thousands of people are dying by the hour, which is crazy. But they tend to not last this long. I mean, this war at this point in time has lasted for 41 years. And I don't know if you know time, but that's a long fucking time for a war to last. Not many wars in history last that long. Spoiler alert. But anyway, so this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are enjoying this series as much as I'm enjoying playing it. And I will see you next time.